It looks like another suicide attempt is on its way, so I've got to sort of stop everything else and plan that. You can see my hand is shaking a bit. Yeah, I had a bit of a bad afternoon, and I took the appropriate amount of clonazepam, which is why I leave a little bit spare. Not that I've got anything like, I mean, on a given day I'd never approach anything like an overdose, but I'm taking at least the correct amount today, and then I just started listening to Matt Rife. I thought, I've been talking about him, I'll listen to him, and I've been having a nice afternoon just sort of doing a bit of minor DIY, which is what is available to me really when I'm trying to rest, and just sort of be a bit creative and constructive, and also just doing things that aren't going to create any permanent changes to my to the motel room. And I was quite proud of myself, and I've just been feeling a bit down again. Anyway, I'm glad that I got down, whether or not anyone's listening or anyone cares. No one's going to help me, that's for sure, because I'm up against pretty much all the forces that can just completely crush me, and that are crushing me, and I'm not alive for this. So I can put my foot down, but I can't make anyone obey the law, least of all the courts. And so I'm gonna have to think of another way to die. It's just such a miserable way to live, Anyway, having emailed CMM at court, Olivia, and I'll just quickly reread the email that I'd sent today. Honestly, the incompetence, it's like the same thing with the fucking radiology thing. It's like, why am I telling you things that you ought to know and you ought to be guiding? There is no professionalism, there is no competence. These are really incompetent people who don't know the law, who don't understand anyone's rights, who don't have a clue what they're fucking doing, and don't have the hubris to take a step back and ask questions of themselves. And that's not a safe world for me to live in. So I wrote again, was it 5 to 10 this morning. Hi Olivia, what's the plan? It's now the 27th and I've heard nothing from court about the plan for 5 March. Since you told me on the 16th below that the judge would be looking at my psych assessment, which was supposed to be after I was seen by a psychiatrist or at least some sort of psychiatric specialist from the DHB. Followed by my strong recommendation that he or she looks at the ones that should already be on the file. No one has approached me about the psych assessment ordered by court, and with the review of the document set for 5 February in 1 week, I feel it's time court tells me what's going on. and the hearing is at 10 o'clock, which is not great for a person with serious fatigue disorders. It's not that I necessarily wake late, but it's quite a push to get together and to get to court, and have the nerves like it's just not appropriate. No one's followed the law. I'm still concerned about the court's fixation on my psychiatric status when the overriding legislation is found in the Human Rights Act and the Bill of Rights Act. Police have barely attempted to pretend to follow the Policing Act or the Criminal Procedure Act, and court seems entirely unbothered by the clearly lacking documentation and evidence provided by PPS. I get the feeling from previous contact with the case review hearing judges that if I were to argue this, the burden of proof would be put on me, which is not how the Evidence Act works. And I'm at a great disadvantage with no legal rep. No, I am not to blame for this if my lawyer breaks the law by flouting the rules from the Lawyers and Conveyancers Act. I do not have to and should not retain him or her. And have had my questions about getting an amicus curiae ignored. Surely a review of process or indeed an investigation into CPA misconduct is warranted, not in fact underway. Can you please update me? And then I just saw before that at 4:30, and it's now 6:25, because I have been doing other things at 4:30. So she won't get my reply till tomorrow, but I'll read that in a minute. She says, Kia ora, Caitlin, thank you for letting us know you still have not been contacted. Read the assessment. We will have followed up with the court liaison nurses. We have followed up with the court liaison nurses. Please can you be at court at 9:30 a.m. on 5th of the 3rd, 24, which is the date of the psych review, so that the nurse can speak with you prior to the hearing. She can, with the bail room counter on level 2, and ask for Jill, the court liaison nurse. No. It's insane. So at 6:11, I replied, Hi Olivia. And the subject line is nurse appointment to be appropriately arranged, notified and scheduled for a home visit. I said, Hi Olivia, I have diagnosed fatigue, cognitive disability, stress and trauma problems. Piling a mystery nurse conversation into my day that early before a mystery court appointment is not possible. It will be rushed and at 30 minutes, including transition time, offensively inadequate. I've offered to show you my diagnoses and you haven't replied, so I think the nurse and I can go over those in a more open and relaxed manner ahead of time, probably with a support person for me if I can find one. I will not be doing a lot of explaining. The nurse can look at my records and ask clarifying questions. We can then decide whom else the nurse needs to consult with to advise the judge. Can you arrange for the nurse to visit me at home on a day leading up to the list hearing and let me know in advance what specific topics will be covered by the visit? Someone must also explain to me what the psych review hearing consists of. My alarm bells are ringing now that I know that no psych review is occurring, and I can't imagine that anything suitable could be reviewed at that hearing. I refer the court again to the Human Rights Act. The court may not override the law to, deliberately or negligently, disadvantage a defendant in this manner. If you doubt this, I can quote the Crimes Act. Judges are beholden to the law. Creating a case law doesn't allow for abuse of disabled people during the pre-trial processes. I look forward to the communication of a nurse visit, appointment day and time, and other relevant details I'm entitled to under secondary legislation that at least the nurse ought to be aware of. So that's basically the Health and Disability Code of Consumer Rights. So any nurse, any medical personnel has to work with that. So they can't yeah, they can't order the nurse to break the law that she's beholden to. But I think they will, and that's why I have to die. I mean, fuck, I've got to fucking sort this out. My time is my own. I am innocent, including legally. And I'm making that point a number of times now. You cannot treat me like a piece of shit because I am accused. I have not been tried, let alone found guilty. I'm not turning up for sentencing. I'm turning up for a psych review which hasn't even been arranged, and they're trying to fit something in with a liaison nurse 30 minutes before a hearing that clearly is not going to be the hearing that I'm told it is, because it can't be a psych review in that time. It's so weird. My time is my own. I am innocent, including legally. I will show courtesy to the court where it shows it to me. I'll allow tomorrow at a pinch, and of course will make myself available on the other days leading up to the list hearing, because someone has got to lead the way, being amenable and reasonable. I expect to get this information by 4 p.m. tomorrow, Wednesday, 28 January. If it's not communicated before 2 p.m. Thursday, I'm not attending the mystery hearing on Tuesday. It will be illegal. Now, there's no way Ministry of Justice is going to obey the law. It doesn't give a hoot about the law. It doesn't know anything about the law. And there's no natural justice either, which means that the registrars and the judges who are making these decisions, and I don't know, I mean, clearly there's a lot being lost in translation because the registrars choose what goes on the case file, and the case file items are either read or not read by the judge. There's no one in charge of the kids, and so I've got no reason whatsoever from any of my contact with the justice system, especially courts and tribunals, the tenancy tribunal, the disputes tribunals has been historically good, to expect that they're going to start obeying the law. And so, although I'm asserting my rights, the only way that they can be met is by my death, because that's the only person I've got control of is me. I don't have any control over the Ministry of Justice. It's not that I can walk away. It's not even that I can walk away from an income like with MSD. Just cut ties. It's like they're just going to arrest me and then charge me with something else. And again, it sounds funny when I say I'm not here for it, although I jokingly kind of said I'm not here for it about something else. I don't mean it in that new speak, like I'm so not here for it. Like that's not, I'm not, you know, like I'm not keen on it. But what I mean is I won't be here for it. Why do people think welfare checks are going to help this? What do you think? What do you think they're going to do? A welfare check? And considering this is a psych review, what do you think a mental health nurse is going to do? Like, I'm going to get a wriggle on, I think, tidying up my place. I guess I just have to, once again, just stop looking into the future at all. Because if it's not one powerful tyrant, it's another. And these guys are just tag teaming me. And if I don't turn up to the hearing, I will be arrested. And it's like, if I lose my nerve or if it fails again, I've got to turn up to the hearing, because being taken to the hospital by those cops, it didn't, nothing, like they didn't communicate to the court anything about the fact I was in hospital, so I had to go. Like, it's just like, there's no way I can treat this as funny. It's not funny. Like, I don't have the energy to treat it as funny. If I had the energy, even with the trauma, I could maybe have a bit of a laugh with it, but I don't. And every abuse just makes me more tired, because that's what it's caused by, those stress and trauma. There's nothing anyone can do, except at this stage it would be like, the only thing that could help me would be like a huge group of people picketing the court. Like, there's nothing else to do at this stage, and I don't have even a single fucking friend. Like, I don't have anything to send a meme to, or go for a walk with. Like, it's just fucking over. And I just, like, I really put my everything into that suicide attempt, and I don't know what to do.